Hello and welcome to Motoring Evolution. My name is Eddie and today we've got a special treat for you guys. We're here on a very chilly Saturday morning in Worcestershire and behind me is a large metal brown door, but it's not the door that we're interested in, it's what's behind it. We're here to take you guys on an inside look into one of the UK's most eclectic private car collections, and we're about to meet the owner Jane, who's going to take us around the cars and tell some stories. So let's get on and meet Jane. We're now inside the car storage facility as such, and what better time to introduce Jane Weizmann. Jane Weizmann is the co-owner of JHW Classics. Hello Jane.
Hi Edward, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So yeah, behind me I can see quite a large collection of cars, and the guys and girls around the world watching this today, they're going to have an inside look into your collection.
Indeed, yes, our pride and joy, both the collection and the garage, I have to say. It was a long time coming, but we got here.
And already, just to give you the sort of atmospherics to this place, it's cold in here. There's the smell of petrol, there's the smell of rubber, leather. I mean, it's all going on in here, and I'm like a kid in a candy shop at the moment. There is some serious cars out on display, and it's not just on this floor. There's more upstairs. So you're very lucky today. Should we take a look?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first car we come up to under this bright green cover with Lamborghini on the front is
the Lamborghini Miura, the pride of the collection really. It's been with us since 2000, so very much a long-term car and one that will never ever be sold.
And this is known as Candy Apple Green.
It is called Candy Apple Green, although some people call them different colours, but that's what we were told it is. The car was originally sold by Bernie Eccleston to Twiggy's manager in the 60s.
Wow.
So in this country she is known as the Twiggy Miura.
Oh wow, so lots of history with it. And this has got the V12 engine developing around 370 brake horsepower.
Yes.
5-speed manual transmission.
Yeah, the first time ever a V12 was put in transversely.
Wow.
Outside the limit.
And it's got the eyelashes.
She's got eyelashes. Yes, the later SVs didn't have eyelashes.
It's an absolutely fantastic car. And the interior, I mean, that looks like Napa leather. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's beautiful, and if you open the door on your side as well, you have the Lamborghini bull horns.
Wow. So to open the door on these is a slightly quirky design in itself. It's just a switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. No wing mirrors, so you have no idea what's coming up beside you.
Wow. Yeah. What an interior.
It's a very comfortable interior as well, as long as you're the right size.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't take tall people.
So anyone over 6 foot is going to have a bit of a struggle.
A bit of a struggle, but otherwise it's just an absolute joy to drive.
Yeah.
A delight.
You really can see yourself driving this around the Italian Alps.
Definitely into no border hazard.
Yes. Wow. So how long have you owned this car, Jane?
Since 2000, so
22 years, wow.
And she'll never be sold.
She'll never be sold.
An absolute keeper.
A lot of sentimental value in this car.
Indeed.
Yes,
very much so.
it's very beautiful.
Very much so.
And it's in an immaculate condition.
We try and keep all our cars in nice condition, but used.
Yeah, sure. They are driven, they're not just showpieces.
No,
Yeah.
can't abide cars that are just sat in garages and never driven.
Exactly.
Otherwise you might as well just have a picture.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, okay, should we move on to another car?
Absolutely.
So we're on to the next car in your collection, Jane, and it looks a bit like an unloved Ferrari.
It is the Ferrari 400.
Ferrari 400.
Unloved Ferrari indeed. But, I mean, I've done filming with her up north for the Celebrity Antiques road trip.
Sure.
And so many members of the public were gushing about it.
Yeah.
Said, fabulous car, love it.
It's got that 70s, 80s feel. So what's this
80s
one?
field, she's 1981.
1981.
But a real, again, a nice sort of GT, a nice car. I've had a few, so
Yeah.
I love them. You know, that's my choice, so what the hell.
And
No, she is, yeah, there's a kit there somewhere on your side.
I think I've got it. Yep.
Yes,
And there is
there is.
that's a V12 engine.
Yes.
Now this is a very busy engine block, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. But as you can see, basically it's two straight sixes sandwiched
Yeah.
together because you've got two oil filters. You know, but it's, for an engine that's done almost 100,000 miles, it's in pretty good nick, isn't it?
And it's all laid out as well. I mean, everything on the fuel pumps and the servers and everything, all the linkages for the throttle, and I mean, even
Yes.
the oil filters on the top of the engine. So
Yeah.
the only thing that's under there is the sump.
Yeah.
Just to, it's fantastic. It's
The only thing we did discover, which is sort of a slightly quirky Ferrari thing, that the brake lines run to the back through the sills. So if they fail, as one of ours did, you can't get to it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Kept finding the brake fluid going down and nothing on the floor. And you're thinking, this is odd. But they have been rerun now, so they're
okay.
safe again.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of history in this engine as well.
Yes. No, nice, again, nice car. It's a shame that it's the snob value gets in with some people. But they're well worth it. Well worth it.
Beautiful.
And not a huge amount of money in
No.
reality.
Yeah.
Compared to so many Ferraris.
Okay, so the third car in your collection is this. Now, this
A real rarity.
is a very rarity. Yeah.
Esogriffo.
Esogriffo. Now, this is an Italian car with an American Corvette engine.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's going to be a lumpy V8 engine.
It's very much a lumpy, fabulous V8 engine.
Wow.
They didn't make very many of these. They made even fewer right-hand drives. There's a handful. And if you look inside, you can see where the positioning of the gear stick is. Very convenient for a left-hand drive.
Now, what I've noticed as well is the door handle is similar to the Lamborghini Miura.
Yeah.
It's a switch. Yeah.
They were so much sort of parts bin cars, to be honest, in the 60s, whatever was available.
60s Italian interior. Wow. I mean, wow. The smells.
This car was the 1967 motor show car in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And John Lennon sat in it.
Really?
Yes, he actually bought a different model, not the Griffo, but he sat in it, so his bum has been on the seat.
That's fantastic. Well,
Claim to fame.
I'm going to sit on it later. Oh, wow. Fantastic. And
It's a fabulous car. I mean, back when it was new and the e-car was £2,000, this was £5,000.
Okay.
A real gentleman's tourer.
Yeah,
a real
yeah.
GT.
Wow.
And it's one of my favourites, I have to say. Shouldn't have favourites, but it is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I love driving this. It's
beautiful.
just a glorious car.
It is.
Absolutely glorious car.
Okay. Well, we'll put this one back to bow. Just by the, I can see the chrome work and all the, it's all the original. It's all in very good condition.
Yes. We were lucky. She came to us pretty good nick. And we maintained her because we've had her for quite a long time.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next one.
On to the next.
So, wow, we've moved on to the XJ13R.
Absolutely. R standing for replica on the grounds that Jaguar only made one, possibly two. And so every other one you see is a replica of that car. Most are in fiberglass. This is aluminium bodied.
Yeah.
So somewhat more expensively done.
There's
And she has a 6-litre V12, but dressed to look like a quad cam.
fantastic. Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was recently offered an original pucker quad cam engine, price starting at $250,000.
Wow.
I kindly declined.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, this is literally this is steel rivets, harness, steering wheel, pedals, gauges, fire extinguisher.
Yeah. No, she's
Wow.
been beautifully built, very lovingly done. The guy, Tim Waddingham, who rebuilt her after an accident, actually said to me, do you know the rivets were too large?
Oh, for the airflow?
For the original,
Oh, okay.
for the original car. He said, can I make them the right size? I said, you can make them any size you like. I know you're going to do a fabulous job.
Yeah. Now, I'd love to stay talking about this car for the entirety of the video, but we have to move on. But this is fantastic. And
she is. She's very special.
Yeah.
Very beautiful car.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jane.
Pleasure.
So, what's under this one, Jane?
Under this cover is a sort of Bond car, really. It's the Toyota 2000 GT.
This is a Bond car, yes.
But obviously, this one hasn't
got the
roof
chopped off. I believe, was it Sean Connery?
It was Sean Connery.
Yeah, it was a bit too tall for it.
Yes, the scene was for him to run out away from the baddies, jump into the car for the girl to drive him off. Would have taken him about 5 minutes to contort himself into the passenger seat. So it was very simple that, Toyota took it away, chopped off the roof so he could jump in. It's another car that's really not meant for tall people.
Yeah.
Anybody over 6 foot just can't get in it.
Yeah.
Mind.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So there's only, how many registered 2000 GTs are in the UK?
Very few. I think there's probably a handful. I'm not sure exactly how many. But I know there are very, very few that are actually driven on the road.
Yeah.
As this one most certainly is.
Yes, this is the good thing about your collection, that they're all driven. None of them, they're all exercised properly.
Oh, definitely.
Throughout the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they're properly maintained and detailed and then brought back in. And we'll get on to the detailing stage later on with your product range, which can be found through PM Classic. So, and this 2000 GT's got the 6-cylinder inline engine.
Yes.
So it's fairly peppy for the weight of the car as well, isn't it?
She just drives really beautiful little gearbox.
I bet, yeah.
It's another joy to drive.
Yeah.
Cars don't stay with us if they're not a joy to drive.
Yeah.
I've had, some iconic cars that have sometimes lasted about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Nah. Gone.
Just mainly because they lack that something. They lack that soul.
Just drive like tractors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the earlier classics. And if you don't enjoy driving it, then I don't have it, because they are not going to sit here. I mean, this gets taken out and used and abused, as it should be.
Yeah, and the paintwork feels absolutely amazing. It's beautiful.
We did have to completely restore this car when she arrived from Japan.
1968?
1968.
1968.
Yes, I think so.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we'll put this one back to bed and we'll go and have a look at one of the others.
Yes, like to keep them tucked up,
Yeah.
certainly in the winter.
Yeah, definitely.
Put your coats on.
Oh, that's better than my quilt at home. Okay, on to the next.
To the next.
So this looks like a car I recognise as well.
Absolutely. Back to the future.
Back to the future.
The DeLorean.
The DeLorean, wow.
Renault engined. Actually, I have to say it's a better car than I anticipated being from a driving point of view. I thought it might be horrible, but it's not. It's not a ball of fire, but the old gull wing doors.
Yeah, beautiful. Now when you come to wash this...
Use kitchen stainless steel cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's simple.
A Brillo pad?
Well, preferably not a Brillo pad. But somebody was recently saying, if you damage a panel, you have to have a whole new panel. No, there are specialists out there who can repair them, get the lines in the right place. But no.
You don't have to worry about rust.
Don't have to worry about rust.
Perfect.
No, absolutely.
Perfect car.
Absolutely. Well, this is the twin for the Hustler.
Oh,
the Aston Martin, the Gonda.
The Gonda. In
Aston, just as the Ferrari's young enough.
This isn't quite British racing green, is it?
No.
It's more of a sort of fern Boston green.
Yes, this was part of the Hunter Green collection.
Hunter Green collection, okay.
A guy who, Michael Fleming, put the collection together of all the Astons at the time, had them all painted in this colour and sequential number plates.
Wow.
This one, when I bought it, had done 2,000 miles, and that was the highest mileage of the collection at the time. And I've had her now 13 years, 14 years, probably
Fantastic.
even more. Again, a nice touring car.
Yeah.
You know, people imagine the size of it that would wallow. It just doesn't. It handles
solid.
really well.
Yeah.
And despite the misgivings of some other Aston owners, yeah, we go off around Europe and she's not let us down yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep fingers crossed.
Well, this is it. Wow.
She's still done a fairly low mileage.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it is. It's a really nice touring car. One I would highly recommend.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And we have covered this one.
The Esogriffo.
Esogriffo. That's the Italian car with the American muscle engine. This, oh, I recognise this.
This, yes, is the Datsun 240Z G, the G-nose, which is the rally homologation version, basically. So these rims that are attached onto the side here that look for all the world like somebody's shoved them on in their shed were put on in the factory.
Yeah. Wow.
And she handles unbelievably. We did the Rally for Heroes in 2014, 3,000 miles around Europe in 10 days. It was the oldest car on the rally, didn't let us down, no problem whatsoever, and was pushing TVRs and things out the way around the mountains because of her handling abilities.
Fantastic.
It's why she's still got the orange stripes from that. They had lots of logos on, but we rather like the orange stripes, so we kept those. And
that's all the original paint as well. Original interior.
Original interior, yes. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yes, triple Mikuni.
Yeah.
She's got on her.
Wow.
Really is just such a fabulous handling car.
Oh, beautiful.
Really.
And on to the next one. We've got this big deluxe cover over this. Now this looks familiar. This looks a bit Bentley-ish.
This is most definitely Bentley. Had a few Turbo R's.
The Turbo R, there she is with a matching paint code as well.
Often, really, you know, I knew I wanted another one and made the space when we moved up to Worcestershire.
Sure.
And found this one, which is actually an RT.
Okay.
So one of the last sort of 100 or so. They made 102, I think, RTs. So the slightly later engine.
Yeah.
100 of them were long wheelbase, 2 were short wheelbase, but this is obviously a long wheelbase. Just incredibly fast car for such a huge car.
And a lot of technology inside the car as well for the era.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with the suspension and
Yep.
yeah, but they dress it up in the traditional styling and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the Bentley way. I mean, this is serious. I wonder how much it weighs. I'm going to go for 2.
I think probably more.
Really?
Yes, I think probably about 3 ton, I would say probably.
Wow. Well, if there's anyone out
I mean,
there...
I know the LN002 is
Yeah.
3.5, but, you know, so I suspect this is approaching that. But yes, as you say, somebody out there, I'm
Somebody
sure
out
can
there,
put us right.
I'm sure can put us right. So if you know how much one of these things weigh, just leave a comment down below. I'm going to go for 2.7 with a full tank. But when you start pulling people in there with suitcases, yeah, I reckon 3. That's heavy. That's
It's a heavy car.
And it performs.
Oh, it performs. Absolutely. It really does perform.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
Okay.
It is lovely.
And the famous XJ220 by Jaguar.
XJ220.
Now, if you haven't seen the video, guys, please click on our other video where I have an inside tour of this car and speak to your other half, Spike.
Yes.
And yeah, so this is Jaguar's XJ220. It's coming up to 30 years this year, isn't it? With its release.
Yes, with
The release. So the actual
Yeah.
design of it started back in, I think, 85 or 84.
Yeah, I mean,
It dates back.
It's an incredibly civilised supercar.
Yeah.
I mean, the design has been timeless. It could be brand new. But, you know, for a supercar, you can take it over speed humps, you can travel through traffic, it doesn't overheat, and then you put your foot down and it tears your face off.
Exactly.
Once the turbo lags.
Yeah.
Give it time.
So, what was it? Sandwiches and white fronts.
Yes.
That's pretty much all you need.
That was pretty much all you
Yeah.
need. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we
yes.
had a good look around this car, didn't we?
You did
And,
indeed. You
yeah.
did indeed. But say when we bought her, she'd done 400 miles from new, and that was 13, coming up 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And she's now done about 19,000.
Yeah.
So again, driven.
Powered by the famous TWR Jaguar AJ V6
Yes.
twin turbo
Twin turbo.
engine, 530 brake,
Yeah.
220 mile an hour.
Yes.
Wow. And you can take your child to school in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant. And there's a lot of technology in this thing as well.
Yeah.
There's no ABS.
No,
There's no power steering.
Unnecessary technology.
But there is a radio that will shoot out on
Yeah.
hard acceleration
Smack you if you're not careful.
and smack you if you're not careful. Yeah. And the weight I think on this is only something like 1.5, 1.6 tons.
Yeah, it's relatively light because it's all honeycomb.
That's right. Yeah.
It's all honeycomb.
Yeah.
So it is, for the size of the car, it's really quite light.
That's one of the very first Venturi diffusers as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Fantastic.
No, because you can get a conversion to make the boot a bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
then it takes into that Venturi sort of space, and you really don't want to do that.
Sure.
So, no, I'm a great purist. Don't muck about
Yeah.
with cars, if at all possible.
In Spa Silver.
Yes,
Beautiful.
it's the right colour.
Yeah,
I'm
lovely.
not a massive fan of silver cars, but it's the absolutely right
It
colour.
just works
for
with
this car.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to go by what's right for the car, don't you?
It's got the panoramic roof as well.
Yes. It would feel quite enclosed in there if you didn't
Yeah.
have that.
And this one looks very
1964 Amphicar.
wow.
They were built in Berlin after the war as part of the effort of getting Germany back on its feet. The engines came from Triumph Herald engines at the back. And this one actually was one of two that crossed the Channel in 1965.
Made it across.
It was owned
Wow.
by a croupier in a London club. He got chatting with an army officer one night, and they had a bet to see whether it would be cheaper to cross the Channel by car or ferry. And they set off in the middle of September, which was probably not wise, because the waves were up here.
Yeah.
This one made it 3/4 of the way across, but her bilge pump failed. But the other one threw her a rope, towed her across. They pushed them up the beach in France, dried them off, and then drove down to Berlin. And yes, it was cheaper by car, but they came back by ferry.
Yeah.
I noted, yes. Very wise decision, I think. The amount of holes in her when we bought her and had her completely restored, I won't put her in salt water again.
Yeah, sure.
She'll go in water, no problem at all, but no salt.
Yeah. Wow.
So a lovely history to it. Lovely history.
Fantastic. So I'm looking at this, and I've got 502 cubic inch engine, so that's a V8.
A V8 8.2 litre.
A V8 8.2 litre muscle engine,
Yes.
essentially
Short
on
block Chevy.
a short block Chevy engine on a trike.
Yes. Well over 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
And the guy who imported her from America, Boss Hoss, they're made in America, was 6'8", so his feet reached these pegs.
Let's have
over here.
so you've got these pegs here.
Yes.
Let's have a. I mean, I ride bikes, fast and quick bikes, you know, super bikes
Yes.
and bits and pieces. But this, I think this would scare me. Wow.
You'd probably reach those. Yes. My feet end about here. So I can't reach those at all. But it doesn't really matter. But I have driven her, and in the right safe place on the track, of course. I got to about 120 or so and thought, that's quite fast enough for me, thank you very much. So she may be well capable of 200, but I'm not going to be doing it.
Wow.
Big boots on, of course, because otherwise
Yeah.
you'd burn your legs on that engine.
Yeah, that's powerful in a car.
Yes. Yeah. It's the biggest engine of anything that we own, including a big American RV that we've got. That's only 7.6 litre.
I mean, the torque delivery from this, does it spin the rear wheels?
It probably would and could. I've tried
Wow.
not to. I've tried to be safe. But I mean, being the auto box, it's probably it's a little bit more manageable. But yes, totally and utterly insane.
Absolutely, with the
And
matching
really good
flames.
fun. Yeah, really good fun.
Wow.
The little Honda N600.
Now these have got, is it a 2-cylinder engine in this one as well?
I
think it's a-
There we go.
There she is.
Yes, there she is.
Wow. That's literally the size of a lunchbox.
I just love the way that you've got the jack, you've got
It's
the
just
spare
there, I
wheel,
mean,
the tools. It's all there
It's
for you.
all there.
Absolutely.
Easily accessible.
Yes.
Wow.
We believe she's the only Honda-matic one left in the country. That's what we were told by the owners' club.
Yeah.
The rest of them all rusted away, I suppose.
Okay.
But, you know,
Wow.
again, your viewers may be able to put me right on that.
Exactly.
They may say, no, I've got that.
It's all kept in there.
The one thing I adore about her is her petrol filler.
Okay.
There's a little flap down here. There's no button on the interior of the vehicle or anything. But what it is a spring-loaded clip
Oh, I see.
just within the door shut. So safe, so simple, beautiful piece of engineering.
Yeah.
Just love it. Absolutely love it.
And weight saving.
Yes.
Perfect.
You know, no long things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Just there.
Now-
I went from the sublime to the ridiculous or the ridiculous to the sublime.
It's
I'm
gone.
not quite
It's gone
sure.
from super to rare to quirky to flat out crazy now, hasn't it?
Yes.
Famous noddy car.
Yes, Fiat Gamine in noddy colours.
Yeah.
Exactly as they came out the factory with this front end. The only difference is obviously it would have been all yellow or all red, not a mixture of the two. But it gets so many waves and smiles when you take her out. That's what I love about her. You know, you take her out for a run and adults are waving, never mind the children. It's so sweet. It really is. It's lovely.
So, on average, each year, how often do you drive this?
I mean, throughout the summer months, we take them all out at sort of about once a month in the summer months.
Nice.
Slightly less in the winter. It obviously depends on the amount of salt on the road
Yeah, sure.
or the conditions.
Yeah.
As long as it's dry and clean, we'll take them out. We
Fantastic.
try and get everything out every 6 to 8 weeks.
And this is a
at the minimum.
2-cylinder engine as well, isn't it?
It's a standard Fiat 500 engine.
Yeah.
At the back there. Yes,
Wow.
you've just got your petrol under here.
I want to talk more about it, but we have to move on to the other
We
cars.
do.